All right, so when it comes to overcoming the fear of falling, we can address the awareness and the strength components at the same time. So to do these exercises, you're going to need a couple of low boxes or some steps and a bit of wall space. But before we get on the boxes, we need to understand how to create a stable base for ourselves overhead. And we do that by pushing the shoulders and the biceps up towards our ears. So the way that we're going to do that, sit down in an L shape here with your legs out the front. If you find your flexibility is too limited and you're really rounded through the spine, prop your hips up on a cushion or a couple of yoga blocks so that you can sit a little bit more upright. From this position, we're going to take our hands up overhead and we're going to shrug up, reach our hands to the sky, and then when you can't go anymore, I want you to squeeze even further, squeezing the triceps, everything nice and strong, and then relax. And then breathe in, reach to the sky, and then even further, and then down. You're gonna feel probably your hip flexors contracting and also some real kind of contraction through the traps, imagining like you're trying to cover your ears with your shoulders and your biceps. What we don't want to be doing is reaching forwards like this and closing the shoulder angle. I want you to be both pulling the shoulders open and up to the sky and back down. Keep repeating this about 10 times while I keep on giving you some more cues. What we don't want to do is bend the elbows. We want to be actively locking the triceps out as hard as you can so that the elbow joint is completely stacked. And then again, pushing up as far as you can, even further than you think you can. It's how we develop the strength and the range of motion. So have a rest from that. If I was now to flip myself over from this position upside down, that's the position we're going to start to work in. When it comes to building strength and awareness, you want to think about gradually stepping up both the intensity and also the level of inversion so that it doesn't feel like a huge jump and the fear takes over. You're going to start in a kind of modified downward dog position. So instead of sitting back, I want you to walk your feet in, bend the legs if the flexibility is an issue, or keep them straight to get the hips more stacked. Again, relax, and we shrug up. Relax, shrugging up, pushing up towards your ears. Not bending the elbows down the bottom, not allowing our hips to drop, but staying with our hips nice and high. Once we're able to do that, feels relatively comfortable, we can step the feet up on progressively higher sides of the box. Baby stepping every time. Gradually making ourselves more and more inverted and taking more and more of our own body weight and still seeing if we can maintain that same range of motion in this little scapular shrug. One thing to be mindful of as you do this, and really any exercise in a handstand, is where your hips are and in space. Generally what we're trying to do, any balance, is getting our center of mass over our base of support. And when we do a handstand, our center of mass is somewhere between the heaviest part, our hips, and our belly button, somewhere here. So we never want to be in a position where our hips are way back behind our hands. This is not going to have too much carryover versus getting the hips much more stacked over. It's going to transfer better to the handstand. Once we're pretty comfortable, you can put the box up on its higher side again. And once that's comfortable, we can walk all the way up to the wall. Getting as close as you feel comfortable. Walking up, up, up. If that's enough, you're going to stay there. If you can get a little bit closer, go a little bit closer and repeat this exercise just like that. Starting with sets of 10 plus a 10-second hold with maximum shrug at the end. Doing that for 2 to 3 sets is a really nice way to begin to expose yourself to both the feeling of being upside down in progressive increments, but also the strength required in order to hold more and more of your body weight there. Now, a little extra bonus one that you can try is once you've got good at feeling that shrug, we want to keep it the whole time. We don't want to come too much in and out of that position. It's better in the beginning to learn to maintain that over a longer portion of time and with gradually more and more of your own body weight, so we have a surplus of strength. We can do exactly the same thing, working our way back up, but this time with weight shifts. Often when people can't walk themselves in towards the wall, it's because they don't know how to stack their hips over one hand so that the other hand gets light enough to either move the hand or to cartwheel out. So we practice this from the same way on the ground. Stack our hips, legs can be a bit wider this time, and then I'm gonna shift my weight across to one side without this elbow bending, without my shoulder falling down and away from my ear. I wanna stay shrugged up and stacked over. Hold for 10 seconds, shrug up the other side, start with tender fingers, or take completely off. And again, we can work our way gradually further and further up the height of the boxes until we're doing this chest to wall, nice and close to the wall in our whole body position. Over time, as we build these capacities, you'll not only find these exercises get easier and you get more used to being upside down, but even your ability to control the handstand to make more drastic saves, to catch kick-ups that are not necessarily ideal, the stronger you are in this position, the more control and comfort you're gonna find that you have upside down.